What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're going to be taking a look over here at the Bitcoin price chart, as we do have a break back above $31,000 again for Bitcoin. And I'm going to talk about what this price structure looks like for Bitcoin in regards to a breakout coming soon. And then at the same time, covering something probably a lot of people are curious about in regards to what does that mean for XRP. And so I'm going to talk about what happened last time this happened and at what point it was that XRP finally broke out once Bitcoin was having this kind of price action. But first, we'll talk about why this has the appearances of what typically occurs before a break actually happens. Now, over the last couple of weeks, of course, we've pointed to that ever since the FTX collapse. Very similar in timing and price structure for Bitcoin, just like we saw after we had C19 back in 2020. We have our ABC correction from the same location as well, and even this price behavior very similar to that moment in time. Today, we'll veer a little bit further away from this topic, but we all know the next thing that came next was another breakout to the upside, and still, to this point, hard to see any reason to think otherwise. Now, for those who are major trendline fans, Bitcoin is attempting to break from the downward trending parallel channel it's been in for over 2 years. I don't really see many people talking about it. I know there's a lot of people out there who love trend lines. It's not my favorite thing, but you can see that over here on the Bitcoin price chart. And the thing that has seemed to be more important has been the Bitcoin market cap, which also as well working its way out of the downward trending channel. But for those who were here in 2021, we actually expected a 50% crash in Bitcoin. We expected a new all-time high, but even during all that time, we expected to barely get a new all-time high before the peak of Bitcoin would come in, and that would be the end of the bull run and the beginning of the bear market for Bitcoin. What many will remember is that we actually spent a lot of time looking at this chart from the inverted perspective. We had the typical crashing structure with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to wave 4, then on for one more wave to set that new low. So you typically will set one low and then set one more, and then that marks the actual bottom. We've done that count over here in the total altcoin market cap, and more specifically, we've seen it very clear over here in others, which is the altcoin market cap excluding the top 10, that we pretty much have the perfect BCB crashing structure of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For wave 5, wave 6 goes back to wave 4 within wave 5. Then we finish it off with 7. Once again, you could see a lower low, taking it out just barely, followed by one more lower low, and that is currently our bottom. As you can see, even in here, ABC correction, as we even had over here for Bitcoin, ABC correction. But the thing to take notice of is the bottom, right? Right in here, which technically is not the bottom, it's the top of the market, right? And I'd like to zoom in on this, kind of look at the reversal structure happening in here for Bitcoin. And we'll put us on a smaller time frame so we can see these candles a little bit clearer and get all this stuff off the screen. Right, this is the reversal happening in here, and then this is us working on the reversal. And so I want to kind of talk about that this is something I've been watching in here for Bitcoin for several months. That we're having the same kind of markers in here as we did in our last reversal. And a way to kind of think about how far we could be in here would be as if we were about this far into a downtrending channel. But of course, we know that Bitcoin is not downtrending. We are uptrending at this point. But to kind of get a comparison of that, that's where you would be. And kind of understanding what's happening here is that it's like working out the support or resistance level in here before another break ends up happening. So this is typical that we have to work out an area, whether we're heading in a downtrend and we've got to work out the support before breaking it, work out the support before breaking it, or work out the support for breaking it. Same is true to the upside, that we'll have to get to the top, work to break, or even in the case of just getting back to the all-time high, how you get back there and you've got to work it out as we did for over a month. So this definitely just has all the appearances of incredible strength. I mean, the pullback that we've seen down here is minimal and just a continued butting up against the top of resistance, which is what we've been expecting to get, trying to work our way out of here. So nothing unusual about sitting here for as long as we have. This is the typical behavior as you're working out the top of a resistance level, or if you're working out the bottom of a support level, that this is the type of behavior you have before a break to the downside comes. Fortunately, we're going the opposite way. a break to the upside. Like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, it's very rare for us to get price action to the upside, and for me to continue being so optimistic about it, I usually will express my concern and nervousness. This is one of the very few times I still just see upside. But one of the questions is, of course, like we've seen some big pops happen in the market, like we've seen with Bitcoin Cash. But what about XRP? When does it have a moment to break out? And I'm going to talk about that right now. And hopefully you caught a lot of the XRP video that was put out last week. I'm not going to dive too deep into it at this point on where we're at with an in-depth summary. But just with how we've moved along in here with Bitcoin, right? Ever since the FTX collapse, ever since C19 of 2020, we've been behaving similarly. The case is the same for XRP. Here's your C19 collapse happening back in here. Here's the price behavior of what we've done. Even in this time period, this was coming back to touch the 200-day moving average, as we have done in here. And then at the same time, when we go back and look at this time period here in 2020, this is also when Bitcoin was doing precisely what it's doing right now after the ABC correction, back to the top, working it out before a breakout. And so what we've seen here is we even see XRP pulling back down again into this move up in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin gets back above, right? Does the ABC correction, gets down to the lows. Bitcoin pulls its way out of here, yet XRP's back down at these lows once again, even up here with Bitcoin, which again is quite similar to what we're seeing now. Bitcoin works its way back up, XRP pulls back, so we can throw that thing back on there again. And so at what point was the play no longer about Bitcoin and was the play about XRP? And essentially, if we're in something similar like this to Bitcoin, the moment was after the next break. Bitcoin leaves the range that it's currently in right now, be similar to like getting a clean break out of a downward channel. And on that break, that would have marked the end of bigger gains for Bitcoin, and the bigger gains began for XRP. In this example, right, what happens, right? We get a pullback here in Bitcoin, goes back to 14,700, and then pushes its way all the way up to 19,500. That's going to create a lot of excitement because that push, of course, was back to the all-time high. But what is 14,500 to 19,500, right? It's like a 33% gain. But at that same time, XRP goes from 25 cents all the way up to 79 cents, over 200%. Whereas Bitcoin trends upward through here, nothing really exciting happening for XRP. But that was the moment at which we were done. After one more push, then the excitement shifted. So right now, we're kind of just in that calm before the storm, waiting to see if we can get ourselves a break to the upside. And when this happened previously, that was the green light for XRP. And I did several Twitter spaces this past week, and I kept reiterating it's like the most unsexy thing to say in the XRP community is how tied XRP is to Bitcoin's price action. And I know I bring that perspective, and it's frowned upon by a lot of people. We have so many narratives in the XRP community on why price will rise. And of course, we're all waiting for the SEC and Ripple lawsuit to come to a conclusion and hopefully to give some guidance to secondary sales for XRP and some clarity. But regardless of those narratives, the things that have historically influenced XRP's price in the cryptocurrency market has been what Bitcoin is doing. And currently right now, Bitcoin's giving a favorable setup to what we have seen before. And when this setup played out, if it does continue to do so, that was a moment in which XRP's price essentially tripled from where it currently was at that time. Even as I've just been recording this morning, this washing machine still continues to go on in here. However, we did get another new little high set this morning, as we have seen, as these things just keep pulling back. So we're still just in the waiting game of this thing to break from its range. And in the event of that, watch out. Those are the kinds of conditions we've looked for that have been successful for XRP throughout all of history. Again, lots of narratives out there. Lots of speculative reasons on why price appreciates and what happens with XRP's price. But I've spent years of studying the XRP price charts, the one that I've spent the most time in. And it's just undeniable. When it has its bigger rises, they tend to be at key moments with Bitcoin. So hate it or love it, at least Bitcoin's got a good thing going for it right now. And I'll take that all day. So, all right, guys, as we continue to range in here, waiting for Bitcoin to move up, I figured I'd show what I saw over there on XRP and what I'm waiting on Bitcoin to finally get super excited for XRP. Otherwise, it's still just a waiting game as we've been ranging here for 2 weeks now. I'll keep this video relatively short as we've on kind of a weird week with this 4th of July happening on a Tuesday. I'm definitely super sunburned, multiple days of just lack of sleep. So I'm going to wrap this up to get ready for markets in the morning. If you're looking for something to do today, you could check out my website, which is bcbacker.com. This is a course I put together with over 40 educational videos, which is over 11 hours of content with downloadable PDFs and organized links for additional learning material in case you want to expand your knowledge on the topics that I discuss in this course. It's organized very much like my YouTube channel is, delivering content in the same manner. I try to make it easy to understand and explain it in a manner that most people could understand it, even if they have very little chart experience to a ton of chart experience, to try to give you the insights and knowledge of the things that I've learned in the cryptocurrency market throughout my over 6 years of being within here and really diving into charts. So you could check this out over here to get all this educational content on bcbacker.com. There's also a link in the description of this video. Otherwise, I want to wish you a wonderful day. I hope your week is going well. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.